What's up, guys? Big Clive 34 coming at you today, and we were going to be talking about some of the most powerful trucks on the market these days. How did this idea spawn? Well, a couple days ago when I saw the awesome release of the Ram 1500 TRX, their answer for the Ford Raptor, which has been a long time coming and very overdue, I got to thinking, you know, especially when that Ford leak came out and said, yeah, we're going to be making a V8 powered off-road dune buggy blaster pickup truck majigger, whatever you want to call it too. I was like, you know, these guys are going back and forth with horsepower wars. Are they the fastest? Is this the most powerful thing you could buy in the 2021 model year that's going to be available later this year? What is going to be the most powerful truck for 2021 that I can buy? And surprisingly enough, the Rebel, I keep calling it the Rebel. It's not the Rebel. The Ram 1500 TRX that they were teasing as the Rebel for a long time, but isn't the Rebel now apparently. It comes in at 5th on this list of 5 trucks. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into each of the 5, give you maybe a quick 1 to 2 minute rundown, and we're going to figure out, we're going to get to the bottom of this. What is the most powerful pickup truck that I can buy as a 2021? There's also going to be no diesels on this list. Diesel trucks are awesome, but they're a different conversation. So we're going to leave them for another time and hop right into this. I am a tiny bit biased. While I am a GM performance enthusiast, if I were spending my money, I think it might be on the Ram 1500 TRX. So we saw the release a couple of days ago, and under the hood, we're finding a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 that's better known to most people as the Hellcat. It's going to sport a detuned 702 horsepower, 650 foot-pound of torque. And they do this detuning thing so they don't cannibalize their other sales. In other words, they don't want to have this truck look like a more appealing option than the Challenger, even though they're basically powered by the exact same thing. It's weird. I don't know. I don't actually think that if there were 2 vehicles making the same horsepower, that a 5 horsepower or 10 horsepower difference is really going to make that much of a difference, deciding if you want a Hellcat Challenger or a Hellcat powered pickup truck. But hey, what do I know? Anyways, this thing's going to be suited with all sorts of goodies to make it ideal for poor and off-road conditions. It's going to have a custom suspension. It's going to have a custom intake system to filter out the dust and prevent it from getting in your engine. Custom oiling system to be able to handle the unlevel terrain. You want to make sure you have oil all the time. Very important, obviously. And it's going to be nice, too. They're going to have robust interior. It's going to have that big screen standard in the dash. And the launch edition for this truck sold out in 3 hours at $90,265. Remember that number, $90,000, because that's going to come up later in this video. As we move on to number 4, though, another appealing option. I just love all these things. I'm just going to keep talking about that probably throughout the video. Anyways, Ram released their Rebel, and apparently Ford wanted to rain on their parade. And it's kind of a slick marketing maneuver because there was a leak. Like, it wasn't a leak. Ford basically, probably in all likelihood, told a reporter, hey, look, we're coming out with this. I know Ram just released this truck. We want to steal all their press. So let's talk about us a little bit more. And that's basically what happened. Anyways, this leak, or whatever you want to call it, would reveal the idea that the upcoming Raptor for potentially the end of 2021, maybe 2022, since it's no official announcement, we can't really tell yet, but it will be sporting the same 5.2 liter supercharged engine found in the Shelby GT500. This is interesting marketing, really. It reminds me of kind of the console wars, because like right now we have the next generation of Xbox, we have the next generation of PlayStation among us, and I think that pretty much all the details for both consoles are out there, but neither console is announcing their price. And they do this in the automotive community. Kind of you could see how Ford was like, all right, well, we'll wait for Ram to release how much horsepower they're going to make. Like, they could technically make this thing, they could tune it to whatever power number they want. We're not going to speculate too much because Ford hasn't given us squat in terms of official news. But the leak says that we can expect 725 to 750 horsepower. And again, the 5.2 liter supercharged V8 from the Shelby GT500 makes 760 horsepower. So again, that same detuned deal because they don't want to compete with themselves. The price is still TBD. The 2020 Raptor does start at $53,500 though. I think they're a little bit more for a decently outfitted one. And again, The last truck was $90,000. So where does this one go? The GT500 is a $70,000 car to start with. So we're sure that they don't want this thing to be too cheap to kind of like take away from the GT500. There's a whole complicated formula I'm sure that they're thinking about. So what do we expect this to be? $70,000, $80,000 truck? Not really sure. Moving on to number 3 on the list. And this one might irritate people a little bit. I know what you're going to say. This truck shouldn't be here because it's not direct from the dealer. However, let me explain. We're talking, of course, about the 2021 GMC Cyclone, which I did an entire video on, and you could see down in the description below or comments or wherever I remember to put it or completely forget altogether like I usually do. Anyways, I could see why people would say this isn't directly from GM, so it shouldn't be on this list, but it is what I like to call, there's an official term for it that I couldn't find for the life of me when I was researching this video, but I like to call it dealer adjacent, meaning that you get it through GM, you pay GM, and then GM gives the money to Specialty Vehicle Engineering, and there's also a warranty on it, so it's basically like a factory pickup truck, even though it's technically from the aftermarket. There's a gray area there, and I choose to say that this belongs on this list. So, I mean, feel free to argue with me, though, in the comments if you want, because everybody has their opinion. Anyways, this truck is going to be boasting 750 horsepower through a supercharged 5.3-liter V8 all-wheel drive, and it's more of a street truck. The other two were off-road. This is kind of a nice alternative to the off-road Baja style, basically, I don't want to call it a street legal trophy truck because it's not, but it doesn't borrow that same heritage like the other trucks do. At the limited production number of 50 of these things, it is an $80,000 package plus the truck, which brings it to about $110,000. The only drawback really of this thing is that it is the only mid-size truck on this list, which is what it is. If you like a mid-size truck, you like a mid-size truck, but they're usually a little bit more inexpensive than these full-size trucks, which are kind of in a slightly different class. I don't know. It's on the list. Anyways, number 2, we're going to go very quickly with this one. Very similar to the Cyclone. Basically, everything I just said about the Cyclone also applies to this one. In number 2, the 2021 GMC Silverado, 800 horsepower, also a dealer package, also a warranty. It is going to have a built bottom end. 378 cubic inches. They listed it in cubic inches for some reason, which transfers to about a 6.1 liter. So I believe it's a stroked 6 liter, something like that. Built V8, makes 800 horsepower, supercharged, all-wheel drive street truck, lots of supporting goodies. Basically all you really need to know about it. And it also has a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. Again, not spending a ton of time here. Check out the full video below if you so desire. Anyways, it's another $80,000 package, but when you consider the fact that this is going to be a slightly more expensive truck as a full-size truck as compared to the mid-size truck before, it's going to be probably $150,000 to $120,000. If that wasn't controversial enough, number 1 just might be. And this is another very, very interesting candidate. I told you that I would put my money in the Ram, but this is very, very close for what I would put my money in. We are talking about the Tesla Cybertruck tri-motor, projected to make more horsepower by a lot than any vehicle on this list. So, first and foremost, electric vehicles are known for their torque, but Tesla's making a ton of horsepower as well. In their Plaid Cybertruck, which, by the way, if you're unfamiliar with the Plaid version of Teslas, it's basically a trim level like a GT4 or a Mustang GT or GT500. We'll have the different trim levels: Z06 Corvette, Z01 Corvette, Grand Sport, all these trim levels. This will basically be the performance trim level in the Tesla camp. And with the Plaid version of the Cybertruck, it's projected that it will make at least 800 horsepower, which I think is actually underselling it a little bit. I'm, not as connected as some of these industry professionals are, but that's the projected number. 800 plus is what they are reporting. So Tesla did tell us that the Cybertruck will have a tri-motor variation when it's finally released. Now, I'm not sure if there will be a tri-motor and then like a tri-motor Plaid. There really hasn't been a ton of details on all of this stuff since the original release of the truck. What my research turned up is that right now the most powerful Tesla offering available is the Model S P100D with ludicrous mode with a dual motor, not even a tri-motor. A dual motor is making about 778 horsepower. So if you think that a tri-motor setup is not going to make at least 22 more horsepower than a 778 horsepower dual motor setup, you are out of your dang mind. But here's the real shocker in this whole thing. Like, that's a bombshell in and of itself. Here's the real shocker, though. Tesla did promise this tri-motor configuration would come in at $69,000, which I think would make this far and wide the least expensive truck on this list by far. Again, maybe there will be a base tri-motor versus like a plaid tri-motor. It's really hard to say. There hasn't been a ton of information that has been confirmed on this thing yet, but I think it's safe to say that this will make at least 800 horsepower, if not way more. And when you factor in the fact that this thing is bulletproof, it has everything from 220 volt power to a 10-second promise of a quarter mile. It is made out of an indestructible exoskeleton. I mean, come on, guys. Really? You're going to tell me this isn't cool? I know a lot of people are like, well, it's not combustion, and, you know, I get it. I kind of agree, but that's cool. Like, that's a cool way to make a transition into electric. So anyways, tell me what you guys think of this list. If you had unlimited funds, which one of these would you buy? You going with the Cybertruck? You going with the GMC Silverado limited edition truck? You going with the Raptor? They're all great options. I mean, any of these would make an absolutely amazing addition to just about anybody's garage. And the future is exciting, guys. The future is very exciting for performance. I'm so happy that performance trucks are back. Because they were missing for a while. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching this roundup. I hope that you enjoyed yourselves here. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe below, and hit that bell notification icon. I really hate saying that. I can't even get over how much I hate saying that, but YouTube does this to me. They just do it to me. I need to get out here and preach about that bell notification icon. Thank you guys very much for watching. I will catch everybody next time.